Have you heard of the age of giant snakes? Back then, the coastal swamps of South America and the mangrove forests along the African coast were inhabited by giant snakes that were 8 meters or even 10 meters long. So why during this period were there so many large snakes on Earth? Well, this story begins 66 million years ago. An asteroid had a little collision with Earth. The dragons received terrible news. The age of the dinosaurs was over. However, within the isolated habitats created by the disaster, low-energy consuming stellar steel harbingers were gradually awakened from hibernation, good at finding cover, and with the flexibility of snakes, they withstood a rigorous test, becoming after the Great Extinction, one of the fastest recovering snake groups in South America. Since the Paleocene, snake diversity has almost returned to pre-extinction levels, and, such as the Matsoida snake, with their powerful constricting abilities, easily regaining sizes similar to their Cretaceous ancestors. Meanwhile, new forces are quietly brewing within the snake family. In the coastal swamps of northeastern South America, the recovering freshwater ecosystem, with its abundant fish resources, nourishes a group of cold-blooded predators, including the largest snake in history, the Titanobocerogonensis. This giant snake, reaching lengths of up to 14 meters and weighing about a ton, even jumps, becoming one of the largest animals on Earth at the time, despite the fine teeth and less angled quadrate bone, indicating they were not really equipped to grapple with surrounding crocodiles and the like. Instead, they had a specialized fish-eating profile, but its enormous size and vertebral characteristics indicate its family had already joined the Madsoidian, the pioneering bows. So these are the original snakes. Right, they will successfully seize the title of the Cenozoic constrictor champion. As the global ecosystem recovers from the mass extinction, a new season of evolution begins. It is officially underway, and it comes with a super gift package. You can see it individually, that is, the Paleocene, making the Paleocene a super hot world. The complex environment and landscape created by the forest habitat and food resources benefit a host of mammals and birds. Meanwhile, the multi-obstacle and complex environment also provides snakes with a flexible body that excels at exploration, a place to shine. Many constrictors are opening up new game modes, one after another. In the Messel pit of Germany during the Eocene, many primitive snake members became common predators in the area, such as the huge Paleopithon and the medium-sized Yoconstrictor. These predators, in the dark undergrowth of the woodland, gradually acquired a new skill. Fossil structures show a young Yoconstrictor was swallowing a fire coral. In addition, the vascular foramina in the maxilla represent a new type of sensory perception, that is, the pit organs found in modern bows and pit viper, which can detect the temperature difference in the surrounding environment, compensating for their temperature perception in light-limited environments. Besides the Yoconstrictor, in the same area, Mesoleuphus or Manorum, with its serrated premaxilla, indicates the bow's future genus mainly active in Afro-Asian regions, officially took the stage. Let us turn our attention back to the southern hemisphere. In this competitive environment, more inclined towards a classical paradise of labor, the extremely hot climate allowed many South American snakes to reach sizes that were unprecedented. These giant snakes, along with the cebacid, the caimans and dinosaurids, thrive together here, preying on the unique South American prey. So, besides South America, are there any other giant snakes elsewhere? Yes, my friend. There are. I can pull a whole pocketful of these giant snakes in neighboring Africa and India. The Matsoides gigantophis garstini and the Indian Vasuki indicus, with the support of the environment, showed extremely strong growth potential. The former, in the coastal forests, hunted, capturing elephant-like calves, depicting a real snake-swallowing elephant scene, while the latter, with its huge vertebrae, became a Titanobo-level presence, and, as the Nigerophidae and Matsoida created terrifying legends of giant snake, another group of snakes in the Cenozoic, that showed great promise, also began to emerge. These are the more diverse new snakes. The super snake world not only allowed snakes to enjoy the terrestrial environment, but also provided them with the convenience of returning to the sea. The vast coastal waters and mangroves of Africa were apart. New snakes found new opportunities. For example, compared to today, the hydrophid snakes are related to the Pelagian hydrophiids, with more diverse body types and morphological differences. They became one of the most successful groups of second-generation sea snakes. On the African coast during the Eocene, the Gigantophis hydrophiids and African hydrophiids could exceed 8 meters in length. They lived in the mangrove areas where rivers meet the sea. The hot and humid climate allowed these large marine snakes to have more dense blood vessels within their bones, possessing a metabolism surpassing today's giant snakes and activity levels. There were even some snakes that ventured into the open ocean, becoming transatlantic marine predators. It is like Kun She Huang eating Sichuan peppercorns and winning at Mahjong. Hoping everyone watching in the year of the snake can also win big like in the age of giant snakes, winning across the board. This era of giant snakes is like the last gasp of the cebacid group in the Paleocene. it is short-lived. With the end of the Paleocene-Eocene thermal maximum and the formation of the Antarctic ice sheet, the advantages given to snakes during the early Paleocene quickly disappeared. As the saying goes, you do not necessarily have to win a game head-on on the chessboard. Can't you rely on other methods? The gradually cooling climate led to the demise of the large snakes in the hot and humid, snakes in complex environment, and the ancient hydrophids of the Zhuogang Sea declined. Snakes began. The open habitats brought about by the changing environment exposed them to the elements, and the flexible arboreal snake greatly increased the cost of finding shelter. Being completely exposed to the sun also meant that visual, auditory and other sensory needs became apparent again. Fortunately, the plasticity of this form allowed many terrestrial snakes with stronger movement abilities and more diverse forms to successfully discover new survival opportunities. These snakes eventually degenerated all unnecessary duplicates, completely shifting and elongating their internal organs throughout their bodies, and evolved simpler, yet more diverse forms than the original snakes. Many of them evolved back to diurnal habits, becoming active during the day, moving around when the temperature allows, building a basic colobroid snake form, as limbless vertebrates, in a version more suitable for burrowing animals. All of this was not enough to compete with the fangs and claws of the mammalian predators. So, as if to seek survival and prosperity under the sun, they signed a dark pact with the Creator. Some of these new snakes chose to use venom to subdue their prey, predators, onlookers, and even their own kind. They all became embroiled in a cursed arms race. As for how these new snakes evolved venom, fossil records do not directly reflect this, perhaps due to the radiation evolution during the Paleocene-Eocene thermal maximum, and, faced with a wider range of prey, they did not have the strength and means of the original snakes to directly subdue their prey. Natural selection mutated some of the ancestral proteins, like distant cousins of the Atractospidinae, mutated rather than venom for healing. Atractospidinae primarily use venom for defensive purposes. These mutations for predation were faster and more deadly. Thus, the associated maxillary gland, planned tooth fracture, and different venom delivery methods emerged. These xenodonts carried new weapons, beginning their new journey in the Neogene. The Neogene began about 20 million years ago. During the Miocene, the Eurasian landmass and the shifting seas of Africa and North America made the connections between these lands closer. Many snakes successfully spread to places they had not reached during the Paleogene, and in North America, colubrids and pit vipers from the viper family, via Eurasia, gradually replaced the Boida, becoming the main snake group in the area. In Europe, cobras and vipers migrated from Africa. In the vast and arid grassland habitats, leaving behind rare fossil records, the same forms gradually appeared in East and Southeast Asia. On this journey leading up to the Ice Age, the colubrids in the broad regions of the Northern Hemisphere, with their excellent adaptation to various arboreal environments, became the new representatives of non-venomous snakes. While the venomous snakes in this area are known for their ambush tactics and energy conservation, the vipers, mainly preying on warm-blooded animals, in the intricacies of climate change, and with the added benefit of the island effect, evolved large venomous snakes such as the Trimeresurus. And after the Panama Land Bridge connected North and South America, the renowned rattlesnake and lancehead families also followed the Great American Interchange, bringing this survival model to completely new territories. In comparison, cobras seem more inclined to warmer environments, the iconic hunter among them. The cobra was born during the warm phase of the Miocene in Europe. The Walterinesia aegyptia, with its unique hood, became a nightmare for many animals in Europe, also prompting other snakes in the same region to follow suit. And in Africa, their original base, more potential underdogs, like snake eagles, and the appearance of humans, prompted cobras to develop the most efficient and deadly type of venom among snakes, represented by three-finger toxins, giving prominence to pre- or postsynaptic nerve toxins. Dealing with nerve toxins in this arms race, the Battle of Keys and Locks also promoted the evolution of venom's defensive functions, such as spitting cobras and adders, by rapidly increasing the venom duct and fang opening, unlocking the spitting skill, directly shooting into the eyes of predators, giving the opponent the most painful lesson. Following in the footsteps of this warm environment, cobras, on this snake family expedition, all the way east, came to the coastal areas of East Asia and swam towards the gradually northward moving Australia. The newly forbidden Australia, like an ancient Old Eden, harboring the last of the old from the extinction event. Many of the surviving ancient species, the last few Madsoida, live a slow and peaceful life here. But as Australia gradually moved north, many Asian species also began to arrive, landing here one after another, such as various large and ecologically similar pythons, gradually squeezing the living space of these early snakes and cobras. This group of well-known givers poses a direct threat to these vulnerable juveniles, and they also, as in the involution tradition practiced in other large groups. In Australia, Multiple forms of radiation evolution emerged. The ultimate update is the introduction of weapons, gradually making Australia similar to today's exiled paradise. The Australian megafauna also went extinct. The evolutionary story of snake still has too many fragments for people to discover and piece together. This group of predators, from birth, unusual, use their bodies to measure this planet. Use sensory perceptions and behaviors completely different from mammals. After the extinction of birds and dinosaurs, became the most prosperous group besides the descendants of dinosaurs. Snakes believe it. Everything for hunting. This heartbeat and survival first philosophy, using diverse and flexible form, presenting a different kind of natural beauty.